Hello. Welcome to Easy Does It. It's been a while since I've been on the air. It's been about a grand total of 2 weeks now. Usually it's a weekly show, but last week didn't work out for a few reasons. Mainly, I was sick. Not like sick, but when I get even a little sick, it makes it so I can't really talk much. I can talk a little bit, but it makes me sound like 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 Kermit the Frog, but not in an endearing Patrick Mahomes kind of way. More like a Kermit the Frog. I'm not even gonna make that joke on the air because it's I want to be a little more kid friendly. Anyway, uh, welcome to Easy Does It. I am Easy, and I am doing it, and by it I mean talking about sports. I'm doing it right now. First thing I want to talk about is Happy Baseball Day. Very exciting. Very, very exciting for baseball to be happening right now. Um, and right now, like I don't know, we got some Cubs fans, we got some Sox fans. Cubs already won today. That's my team, my number one. But I do like the Sox too. I'm not one of those people who thinks that you have to love one and hate the other. I think that's crazy. It's like the White Sox. The White Sox are family in the sense that, yeah, obviously I want the Cubs to win, and I'm going to root for the Cubs. But if the Cubs aren't in it, of course I'm going to root for the White Sox because they're like they live in my house, like they live in our neighborhood. So yeah, I'm a Cubs fan first, but I'm not one of those White Sox hating Cubs fans. I like the rivalry. I think it's a nice, friendly rivalry that's only not friendly whenever the two teams play, which is the way it should be. But that's neither here nor there. I guess it is 2 outs. Yeah, White Sox 1 out away from a win against the world champs, and not only that, this was a great game for the Sox. Very much a pitcher's duel throughout the game. Dylan Cease, I guess, looked really, really good today. Um, don't let his fielding independent pitching fool you, which is the dumbest stat ever created. I just want to say, like, when teams talk about a pitcher's FIP, that stat, fielding independent pitching, just completely ignore it because there is no such thing as fielding independent pitching. The whole idea of baseball, the whole idea of pitching is that it's dependent on having a defense. You pitch while operating under the pretense that you have defenders there to back you up, to field the ball, to make plays for you. That's how Greg Maddux became great. That's how Kyle Hendricks had his elite run for 7 years. Pitching to contact, getting weak contact. It's not all about strikeouts. And the thing about FIP is FIP loves strikeouts, but it hates walks and it hates home runs. So if you walk a lot of guys, but you're still able to keep your ERA low by getting people out, doesn't matter because FIP sees it as home runs and walks are the only things that a pitcher can control, which is total bullshit. So yeah, FIP, that's my rant today. FIP is a terrible stat. I like some sabermetrics in baseball. I think OPS plus is pretty cool. I think, I think a lot of things are very cool in when looking at advanced metrics in baseball. Not as much football, but baseball, absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot of really cool advanced metrics. But FIP is not one of them. FIP is a terrible stat. Yeah, 10 strikeouts, 0 earned runs against, dominant performance by Cease. Over it with runners in scoring position, and then until I think it was the 8th when the White Sox broke. Well, I guess in the 9th, yeah, that's when they finally got a hit with RISP. But it was the 8th when Grandal finally got a home run and gave the White Sox the lead. But I will say, Frank, and other White Sox fans, don't be discouraged by going 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position, because in order to have such a bad stat with runners in scoring position, first you have to get guys in scoring position. So every year, the best teams, the best of the best teams, struggle with runners in scoring position at times because they're able to set the table like that. They are able to get guys on base. It's only a matter of time before the hits start coming in. But anyway, we got Astros down to their last strike. They got a runner on base. We got Ronaldo Lopez on the mound trying to close it out against Diaz. I think his first name is Yainer. I was going to say Yasmendi or something, but anyway. Interesting seeing Jose Abreu in a Astros uniform, that's for sure. as there's a foul ball. Count remains 1-2, bottom of the ninth. Oh, and the clutch hit came from it was Andrew Vaughn who had that it was a 1-out RBI double scoring Timmy Anderson, who's 2 for 5 today, and Luis Robert, who is also 2 for 5 today. Excuse me, they're both 2 for 4, not 2 for 5. Not a great day for Eloy Jimenez, which wait, no, I did not draft him in fantasy. Never mind. But yeah, that's White Sox. I mean, hey, if you could win your first game of the season against the champs, that's awesome, right? But I do want to talk about the Cubs for a minute. It was a bad stat because base running errors, mental breakdowns. That's different. Well, yeah, it's a bad stat for a lot of reasons. It's a lot of reasons why FIP is a ridiculous, horrible stat that like any baseball fan with any semblance of knowledge and just understanding of the game wouldn't use FIP as a resource for analyzing pitchers. For example, Jacob deGrom today struck out a lot of guys, struck out 7 guys, but he gave up like 6 earned runs in 4 innings. His FIP will look decent, I think. I'm going to have to go back and look at what his FIP is after today. But, you think giving up 6 earned runs and striking out a bunch of guys is a good thing? No. Like, come on. Give me a break. Although I will say, even though Jake deGrom, his debut, White Sox win, swing, and a miss. And both Chicago teams are undefeated in the month of March. That's awesome to see. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. Jacob deGrom. His first game as a Ranger did not go according to plan for him. However, the Rangers did manage to score not 1, not 2, but 9 runs in the 4th inning. And they won 11-7 today. Reagan's got the win for Texas. And man, Aaron Nola, he was pulled pretty early. Staying in the NL Central, the Pirates beat the Reds 5-4. They won in the 8th inning. Or that's when they got the go-ahead run. Let's see, who got that run for them? Oh, man. I got to fill this time while I'm looking it up. Got to fill it up. Let's see. Scoring. Looks like, O'Neal Cruz, sacrifice fly, giving the Pirates the win. Also, Rob Zastryzny, former Chicago Cub World Series champion in 2016, now with the Pirates. He ended up getting the win today. So good for Rob Zastryzny. I always liked Rob Zastryzny because his last name starts with the Z, as does mine. So props to Rob Zastryzny. Let's see what else happened. Blue Jays and Cardinals had a barn burner, really fun game there today. Wilson Contreras had to be taken out of the game because of after going 2 for 4 today. In a really good start to his Cardinals career. Until, like I said, he had to be pulled from the game because I guess he got hit in the knee with a wild pitch. Sucks to suck, right? I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad for Wilson Contreras. As a matter of fact, good. I'm glad he got hurt. Great. I'm not above rooting for the occasional ouchie on the knee. Y'all know that by now. But yeah, Toronto 10, St. Louis 9 in an absolute thriller. Cardinals, they're going to be struggling with their pitching all year. So that's one good thing I will say about the Cubs' chances. And, the Cardinals were up 9-8 in the 9th inning. And, George Springer RBI single to tie it. And then Vlad Guerrero Jr. sacrifice fly. Kevin Kiermaier, first game as a Toronto Blue Jay, scores the game-winning run. And St. Louis is now last place in the NL Central. Hopefully, that's something that continues throughout the year. We had another 10-11 game, or excuse me, 10-9 rather game. And this one was between the Red Sox and Orioles. Came down to the wire. By the way, in that 19 hits for the Blue Jays today against Cardinal pitching. I'm just saying, Cubs fans, that could be very exciting. Could be very exciting for us when we play them. Hopefully that continues. Anyway, the Orioles beat the Red Sox 10-9. Yankees got off to a great start this year. Garrett Cole, lights out. Aaron Judge hit a home run, first at bat of the season. I don't know why Logan Webb was throwing him a fastball to start the game. Like he had him 0-1 and he gives him a low fastball. Like, you don't throw fastballs to Aaron Judge. Just breaking ball, breaking ball, breaking ball. If he walks, he walks. Like, whatever. Are you really that scared of Rizzo? I love Rizzo, but there's a way to beat Rizzo. Just pitch inside like crazy. But anyway, I digress. So yeah, Orioles got that win against the Red Sox. Yankees win, start the season. Braves beat the Nationals. Phillies lose to the Rangers in the Cole Hamels Bowl. Tigers lost to the Rays 4-0, although Javi Baez drew a walk. She's always a miracle. Love me some Javi. Twins beat the Royals 2-0, in the look. So AL Central fans, it's very interesting. Zach Greinke pitched pretty well. I can't believe he's still at it, man. Hopefully the Cubs trade for him by the end of the year because I've always wanted to see him in a Cubs uniform. Love me some Greinke. Mets beat the Marlins 5-3 in, pretty interesting game, I suppose. I guess Sandy Alcantara, I think he went 6 innings, 2 runs, but he did not get the loss because the Marlins tied it in the 6th. Scherzer did get the win, though. Dude went, balled out with the Mets. Verlander, I've read, is hurt, though. So, yeah, I guess the Mets are a little bit cursed. But I guess that's what you get when you sign 40-something-year-old pitchers. Who was it that got the home run? Or no, Nimmo had 3 RBI for the New York Football Mets. And then we got the Dodgers starting up 20 minutes from my house. Maybe I'll go to that game. Probably not, though. It's expensive and far, but not that far, but traffic, Got Ohtani going tonight for the Angels. Going to start really soon. That's going to be great. I'm going to tune into that game because I'm not going to miss Shohei Ohtani. Are you kidding me? That's crazy. That's just crazy. We got the Rockies playing the Padres. Rockies have an early 1-0 lead. German Marquez is pitching for the Rockies. He's interesting name to look out for, German Marquez, because he's one of the better pitchers in Rockies history, which is like being the best quarterback in Bears history. That's actually kind of a perfect analogy. But it's harder to pitch at Coors Field. So I could see him being dealt at the trade deadline to a contender. But I guess we've said that for many years. But most importantly, and this is the game I have not talked about much yet, but, I brought it up. Chicago Cubs get the first win of the season against the Milwaukee Brewers. Dansby Swanson, really, really good start to his career with Chicago. 3 for 4, I believe, with 3 singles. He had the game-winning RBI, and really was it was in the 3rd inning, the first RBI of the season for Chicago, scoring Nico Horner on a RBI single to right. And that, Cubs didn't look back from there. Or no, he scored Miles Mastrobuoni. That's his name. It's Miles Mastrobuoni. It feels weird to say that, but that's his name. So basically what happened is Wisdom walked, and then Mastrobuoni beat out a double play. Horner got a knock to right, slow roller to right, and on that hit, Mastrobuoni was able to get to third. Runners at the corners, 1 out for Swanson. He got a single, and on that single, the ball got away from, I think, the first baseman, and because of that, because as Swanson was like diving back to first, because the ball got away, that counted as an error, and Horner was able to score. So Mastrobuoni and Horner both scored on that play for 2 runs. And then who got the next RBI? Oh, yeah, Mancini got an RBI knock. And Yan Gomes got like an RBI fielder's choice type thing where he grounded it to the shortstop, but the shortstop took his time touching the bag, didn't throw to first, just a kind of a messy play by Willy Adames, I believe. Good player, Willy Adames, by the way. I respect his game. But, he goofed up a little bit there. But the big thing for me today is Marcus Stroman. Marcus Stroman was awesome. 6 innings pitched, only 3 hits, 3 walks, but 8 strikeouts. That's a really nice game for Stroman. Bullpen looked really good. Boxberger and Keegan Thompson each had a strikeout in one inning pitched. They both walked a guy, but that's going to happen. And Fulmer comes in and doesn't get a save, but he did finish the job. And yeah, really great start to the season for Chicago. Defensively, 2 double plays, one in the top of the. So Horner made an error at the top of the 3rd inning, but then he made up for it by swiftly turning a double play and kind of spoiling the Brewers' only scoring threat. They had bases loaded, and Rowdy Tellez hit a sharp ground ball to Horner. Horner just took a little step to his left, fielded the ground ball, got it to Swanson quick. Swanson got it out of his glove quick, threw it to Hosmer. 4-6-3, beautiful, beautiful rally-killing double play right there. And, I mean, Brewers didn't do shit after that. They just couldn't do anything. It's nice to start the season 1-0. Of course, last year the Cubs also started 1-0 by beating the Brewers and, a Cy Young candidate in Corbin Burns on opening day. I was there last year. This year, it feels a little different. This team feels so professional. I know it is a professional baseball team, but it's like I feel a little more comfortable with battle-tested guys like Hosmer and Mancini than I do with guys like Frank Schwindel or Rafael Ortega. I like Ortega, but that's just kind of, we have a bunch of winners on this team, and it's nice to see. Speaking of winners, yes, hell yeah, Emilio. Great day for Chicago baseball. Really good start to the season. Hopefully, hope it continues, man. That'd be great. Let's see who plays tomorrow, because Friday's weird for whatever reason. Yeah, the White Sox play tomorrow. We got Lance Lynn going, but for whatever reason, you only got 5 games tomorrow. I guess it's because they want to be extra prepared in case of rainouts. But yeah, it always sucks having opening day and then an immediate off day right after. However, starting on Saturday, we got a lot of we'll be we'll all be back, and I am excited to watch some Lance Lynn tomorrow. Always like watching the big right-hander take the hill. But yeah, great day for Chicago baseball. Cubs are in first place, baby. Let's go. Keep it up. Brewers and Cardinals and Reds are tied for last place. Pirates tied for first, but if the Pirates and Cubs are tied for first, the Cubs get the tiebreaker because the Cubs don't totally suck ass like the Pirates do. And the White Sox, of course, are in first place. So, great start. Speaking of first place, I'm not sure how I'm going to make this connection here, but the Chicago Bears. A lot of people are thinking the Bears have made all the right moves to be able to be a first place team next year. They think that the Bears are going to win the division, take it by storm and whatnot. Look, I'm very excited for the upcoming Bears season, but I want to say pump the brakes, hold the horses on that for a minute, because while, yes, the Bears have made some very, very exciting moves, and while, yes, the Bears have a chance to be really, really good this season, I don't want everyone to get their hopes up, all right? If I'm making a prediction right now before the draft, and look, I don't know what the draft is going to look like, but before the draft, just given the way that offensive and defensive line look right now, I think the Bears will win 8 games. I think they're going to be 8-9 or 9-8. And I just want to, before the season starts and before I get in my irrational professional fan mode, that's okay. All right? If the Bears, what we want to see this coming season is improvement, first of all, and secondly, competitive football in December, right? Not games where we're tanking. And I think the Bears will give us that. I do think we're going to lose some close games this season, all right? It's not going to be pretty throughout. I hope we don't lose to Jordan Love and the Packers. That would break my heart. But I do think we will, lose some winnable games. There will be some disappointments, 3-point losses, 6-point losses, just a bunch of shit like that. But I also think the scales will be tipped a little bit. Whereas, we were on the short end of the stick a lot last year. I think this year we're definitely going to win some more games. And I think we're going to be playing meaningful football in December for the first time in a very long time. So, since the COVID year, really, 2020. So, you kind of got to take what you could get with the Bears. Um, I think 2024 is when we're really going to see massive improvements from the Bears, massive improvements from Justin Fields, or not just from. I think next year we'll see massive improvement from Justin Fields, but I think that 2024 is when the team's really, really going to start to mesh. I guess what I'm saying is, if the Bears start off the season next year 2-3 or 3-4 or something like that, let's not jump ship. Let's not immediately be like, oh, fire Poles, fire Eberflus. We got to start this shit again. No, let's stick with it. All right. It's a cliche in sports, okay? But you have to trust the process a little bit. And what does that mean? What's the process? What does it mean to trust the process? Well, I'll tell you what it means. It means part of being bad, like part of becoming a good team is you have to go through being a bad team for a little while. We had the shitty year, Matt Nagy, 2021. 2022, first year with Ryan Poles. Absolutely, like a really a clusterfuck of a season. We were the worst team in the league. This next year is the year of some growing pains, but where we'll see demonstrative improvement and hopefully a team that's able to fight for that last playoff spot. And if they win a playoff game, that would be amazing. I consider that an absolute win. I feel like we get so caught. Look, obviously, I want to win the Super Bowl. Everyone wants to win the Super Bowl, right? I feel like we get so caught up in wanting to win the Super Bowl that we can't see winning a playoff game as a great accomplishment. If the Bears are able to win their first playoff game since 2010, I will be very excited. And I think that they will contend very strongly for that 7th wild card spot. Remember, teams used to have like a 30-some% chance of making the playoffs. Now they have like a 40% chance of making the playoffs. It went from like 37 to 43-ish, 44-ish. I'm not great at math, but that's just like when you start the season, you have, there's 16 teams. It was a six teams used to make it. Now 7 teams make it. And also there's 17 games on the schedule. So you have a wider margin for error, that means, and you have a better chance of making the playoffs because 7 teams get in. I could see the Bears definitely pushing for that 7th or 6th spot, and I could see them being the first 7th seed to get a playoff win. You never know when you have a quarterback like Fields and you have all these weapons. So, it should be very interesting. With that being said, don't be surprised if the Lions or the Vikings, or if Aaron Rodgers shocks everyone and goes back to the Packers, which he probably won't. But if he does, don't be surprised if the Bears don't win the division. If we win only 5 games, that's a disappointment. Only 6 games, that's a disappointment. But even if we go 7-10, I see that as improvement and something that could be built upon. I'd still be pretty disappointed with 7-10. But once we're in that 8-9, 9-8 territory, that's when I'll be like, okay, we're a real team. We're not a great team yet, but we are a real team. We are a team that can get better, and we're a team that knows how to win some games. So don't abandon this regime of Poles and Eberflus and Kevin Warren just because things aren't going great early on in the season. Because that's the thing. I think that a lot of it will be, I don't think the Bears are going to be a great September team necessarily. I think we'll, hopefully we get a nice draw like the Niners week 1 where, they had like a rookie quarterback starting. But I don't think September is going to be the Bears' best month. Justin Fields got off to a slow start this season before he really picked it up. And I think that might be, I could see that happening again. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. You want to be built to win November, December, January, and eventually February football. But I don't know, man. I'm just saying, we just got to really compartmentalize with the Bears because this is a big picture thing. You have to trust the process because when you are consistently year after year in that 7th seed fringe playoff team in the hunt, but not actually a playoff team and not, an actual legitimate threat, like a legitimate contender, that's when you never fucking win. You just don't win game. You're not gonna, you're always a team that's just kind of there. Like the Tennessee Titans are very much in NFL purgatory every year because they're able to win a bunch of games. They're able to rely on Derrick Henry to, get them going. And yeah, they did have a nice playoff run somewhat recently, but when it comes down to it, they don't have the quarterback to take him over the edge. I like Tannehill. He's not enough. So, like, look, I'm just saying the Bears are doing things the right way by having this horrible season last season. I think they're going to kill it in the draft. Next year, I think we might re-enter that NFL purgatory, but still be competitive in December, improving. And then the next year, I think we're going to be a legitimate contender in the NFC. Because remember, it's like, I don't want to be where the Bulls are at right now, where it's like, every year they're kind of fighting for that last playoff spot, but they're not going to go into the playoffs and beat Giannis or, the Sixers and Embiid. Like, that's not going to happen. If it does, that'd be great, but it won't. All right? Get your head out of the clouds, Bulls fans. Yeah, I want to be good. I want the Cubs to be good again and, off to a good start. I want the Bears to be good again. But remember, it just takes time. And if things don't start off super hot for your team, remember to calibrate and remember that, just in the social media generation, it's so easy to not be patient and to just give up so quickly, especially when you got people bad mouthing your team all over Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, whatever, pick your poison, right? But at the end of the day, you got to trust the process and you got to wait it out because building a championship team doesn't happen overnight. All right, I'm going to keep this episode pretty short, so I'm going to wrap it up. As always, you can tell me if I'm an idiot in the comments. We're going to have a show next week. Hopefully, I'm able to acquire a guest, but we'll see if I'm able to do that. But yeah, as always, let me know in the comments if you think I am full of shit. Just tell me.
I think I'm full of crap. I have to be just like some idiot who's full of crap. Please show